This is a new unit I've just finished. I want to show to the public.
And here's the machine, got batteries and relays and everything else.
I'm going back roughly 60 years ago. My mother, Dorothy, had a massive stroke at 47. And as a young inventor, I started thinking about maybe ways that a person like her could be taken care of at home. And I remember the agony the family suffered as she struggled to work back toward recovery. Back then there wasn't really many helps you couldn't afford to have caregivers come in. So I started thinking back then about how could we give home health care people, husbands, wives, and to take care of their loved ones at home and keep them at home instead of putting them in a nursing home. I feel now we're in real serious trouble as far as our home health care system, our medical system. Doctors and nurses are dropping out of the profession, and a multitude of people. We've lost middle-class America. A multitude of people will not be able to put their loved ones in nursing homes. So I've worked several years now developing equipment I know that will give people freedom. Freedom to do self-therapy, freedom for the loved one will not have to lift that person, taking that weight load off of them, plus the individual can do consistent self-therapy day and night, week after week, year after year. And hopefully after a stroke or car wreck or any type of injury or just sickness, the person will be able to keep the body moving. When the body lays still, pneumonia sets in, atrophy sets in, bed sores. This machine will eliminate all bed sores. Christopher Reeves had 14 caregivers, and the story was told that over 60,000 people a year die from bed sores. And what was sad about it, he had so many caregivers, but he still died from bed sores. So we need to give people better equipment. I believe what I've done here I know it'll be improved on. This is just a prototype, and we're going to step further. This will be all mechanical. I mean, electrical and mechanical, but I do have mechanical machines in my mind that I want to build for the poorest people, where they can afford to take care of their loved one at home. So I'm going to do a demonstration showing how that you can take the individual out of bed. The individual themselves can take themselves out, stand on their feet, do physical therapy with their fingers, the fingers and the arms moving. My first video, which I'm not showing here, will show the arms and legs both moving. This one, I let the fingers do the walking, and that's what I'm doing here with this. The fingers are doing the walking. I'm just going to show the machine how it works. Then I'm going to show my son Brand in the machine, him operating the machine. I want you to imagine that a person is in the vest, laying across the bed, and the legs are strapped to their legs, and they're coming out of the bed, staying their feet, exercising, walking across the floor, coming over and sitting down in the chair. You reverse the cycle, go from the chair, back to the bed, or any place in the house. In certain cases where the doors have to be widened, the larger rooms to work in, so the machine will turn, it'll go backwards and forwards, it'll turn in a circle, it lifts the person up. It's got a 1,700 pounds capacity lifting motor. It has enormous power for the legs and arms, where they can do endless exercise themselves. So I want to show the machine coming, the person standing up, coming out of bed, and I want you to imagine the blue being the legs, the upper torso, head laying on a pillow. Just use your imagination. And what I do is the person has I will have the controls where they can reach the controls to control it. The lift is just reversing forward. The next step with all this will be remote control. Be done either way. But the person will be able to stand their feet. When they stand their feet, they'll be able to do the movement control on the rest here. which will take the machine forward, backwards, forward, a circle, wherever they want to go. And they can go outside, they can go in the kitchen, wherever there's room to do this. But first of all, I'm going to stand the person to their feet, imagining they've got their head on a pillow. And they grab, in their hand, they grab with the arms so they have support right here. Then after they're on their feet, they can reach the control panel here with their left arm, left or right arm. They just need to use 2 fingers to control this. And I've got what I call the hand control here. Well, they've got to come out away from the bed first, which I'm going to do now. If they're standing in here, they'd be turned around like this. They'd be holding on each side of the handrail. Also, they can reach the handrail here and have support. Then moving forward, away from the bed, they have to turn the control on first, the power unit. Then they can go turn the power unit on, and the hand control, if you notice here, it slips in to the forward movement, and the hand fits into the legs, the leg movement, and they can actually use their fingers to do the walking. If you watch here, I'm going to let the fingers do the walking here. Actually, the fingers are doing the walking. Then we come off from the bed, and turn around and go anywhere they want to go. But I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back to the chair, and they can do that themselves, or the caregiver can do it. Yeah. Then they can come back. I'm going to bring the legs back. The person can bring themselves down to the floor level, where their feet touch the floor, using this control here. They can go up and down. You gotta realize they turn toward the chair. This takes them toward the chair, and with their hand control, with the hand on here, with the finger walking machine, they can go back and sit down in the chair. You gotta realize the weight's on here too. I don't have any weight on it. And come back. And they sit down in the chair. They sit down in the chair. Then the loved one can unstrap the safety strap, and take the machine away from them. Then later on, say if they're just sitting in the chair in the living room or in the bathroom or wherever, they can stand back up and come back around and go back to bed if they want. The caregiver or the individual can use the control to stand up and to go forward. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward again. Then they'll be able to stand back up. They come back to the standing position, and they can either have their bone structure and their feet on the floor, or they can just stand in midair. And I'm thinking a lot of times a person might just want to stand in midair and just exercise their legs. Right, right, left, right, left, right, left, They can do that all day long. Along with this, what I don't show in this particular video, I have another device that comes up and the arms move in sequence with the legs, just like normal walking. So they could exercise their arms and legs all day long. Or the individual with two fingers, I'm talking about the injured person, or the quadriplegic, could do it by themselves just using two fingers. Or the caregiver can exercise their loved one without bringing someone in at $200 an hour or whatever it is now, twice or two or three times a week, which most people cannot afford. The extremely poor cannot. And this can be all be done mechanically, or it can be electronically, which I have done now. So the cheaper, I call it the basic model, would have all hand cranks, hand controls, and all of that. But what I will do now, I'm going to take this person back down, and I'll bring the legs back. Bring the legs back to the front and go back and get in bed. Now we're going to take the individual back to the bed and realize the caregiver or the individual can be doing this. And what we do is we turn it around. It turns around itself. I'm using the motor. And then if there's weight on this, it goes underneath the bed. This takes them back to bed. And you use they got this switch here, which will be mounted right here, and they can lay down in bed. There'll be weight on this, so the weight will bring it back down to the right position. And that lays them back down in bed. So I just reversed the process, which I just did earlier. Some of this person has good hand or good arm, they can stabilize themselves with this arm or the other arm or up here. And it helps, they can actually hold to this arm here when they're standing up, or they can hold right here when they're going up. And or they can hold here. Whatever's convenient for different conditions, physical conditions. That's kind of showing how the machine works. And that's the first time I've done this for a while. So it's been a while since I've done it. And we're hoping to be able to take this to people in need of reasonable price, nationwide or maybe worldwide, and fulfill the multitude of retirees, several million a year,
Stroke patients,
baby boomers,
car wrecks, anybody with a disability.
Anybody with a disability or sick. Cancer patients can be on their feet, be free to stand up and go to the bathroom and go in the kitchen, sit down. Gives them new freedom.
It's a harness.
That's a harness.
There's a machine. Pretty amazing.
What do you think, Grant?
This needs a little bit of refinement, of course. This is just a rough prototype. I think it's going to revolutionize the healthcare industry.
Well, what I've done here is fairly inexpensive, and I've got away from the computer doing all the walking and all the talking and everything. This is brain control. When a person thinks, I want my legs to work, they work with the fingers. When they want their arms to work, this is right arm, this is left arm. This I don't show in this particular video, but I've got the mechanism to do that already. And so we want the whole body to keep on moving, and I believe the whole body moving,
Save their life.
it'll save their life, and many will recover.
That's correct.
And I believe it'll give people new hope, when they've lost hope.
And gives a caregiver a tool to take care of their loved ones in the home, because so many people cannot afford physical therapists. The cost. It's impossible.
My wife had an accident last year, and I came up on this, and I thought it was perfect for next step. But when you put the vest on a quadriplegic, and we put the vest, put the neck brace on, and when they move their neck to different positions, it completes all the circuits that will exercise the legs, the arms, where the person can get out of bed, do everything that a person semi-normal would be able to do. Stand up, sit down in a chair.
That gives them a quad a
Quadriplegic.
device to be able to do their own.
Because the only movement the quad normally has is the neck. So I had hopes to get through to Christopher Reeves, but I never could get through to him before he died. And the only response I could get was send us money for stem cell research. And I thought that was a little bit sad.
So that's for the quad. And then you go back, then the person's a paraplegic. They can use the hand controls.
Right.
They can use the hand controls and the finger controls.
Right.
Fingers do the walking. To do their own physical therapy and have their own mobility to get out of bed and to have a better opportunity in life.
I guess that's about it. And we will meet with our group, different people with different abilities, and we're going to try to take this another step further. We're beyond where we are now. And I want to thank Brant for helping me today, and I want to thank Frances for helping me last week, and Dory for helping me putting up with all this stuff in her bedroom. It's been kind of a nuisance to her having all this equipment in the bedroom, one bedroom. Thank you very much.